You know what it
Thank you.
is? Superstar J VIP Saturdays got, man, legendary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Detroit 2
Yes,
is out
sir.
right now. So
Woo.
I just want to get into it. Climate,
Yeah.
in the climate of so many projects not being considered classics, I feel like this
Hmm.
one right here is a classic. Did you go into that frame of mind and say, yo, I gotta make a classic? Because I know how you are with the bars, but did you say like, oh, I gotta bring this back to when people saying classic albums?
That wasn't really on my mind. I just wanted to do my best, I wanted to give my best because I feel like people deserved it. And I feel like in this time, I feel like there was a lack of motivation and inspiration in us a little bit, And I just wanted to give people that because I feel like I needed that, especially during these times. So I was like, let me just do my best to do my part and speak from a different perspective, I guess, than the one I'm always hearing, And what else? I just wanted to give people the album that they didn't know they needed, but that they needed.
I
I
So
love
agree.
that
that.
was my goal. That was my goal, and just keep it from the heart, keep it honest. That's all I did.
That's awesome. All right, so
So
how did the song with Nipsey Deep Reference come about? I know you guys collaborated early in 2010 when you both was on the Double XL Freshman with
Mhm.
French Montana and Wiz. What was was it different? Like now that you guys are both like 10 years later, growth.
Well, I met Nipsey back in '08, and we have been cool since then. And then when we got on the cover a couple years later, it was like, oh shit, what's up, bro? We was just young and just hungry,
Finally
and
made it.
yeah, that's what it felt like. And then we would always see each other, like hit each other up. He really appreciated the relationship I had with my mom. He hit me up a
Mhm.
couple times in my life and was like, yo, I heard this song you did about your mom. It's crazy. So, he was definitely somebody who was cared about family. That was like very important to him. And so we have been talking, and this is crazy. Like, I don't want to get emotional, but it's just like me and him had so many plans as far as like just linking up more and like we would see each other, talk, build with each other, and all that. But we'd be like, man, we got to get up like this, and we would send songs back and forth to each other. So it was such a tragedy when he left us, man.
Hmm.
And that was one of the songs that was started, with Hit Boy, and it just never got done. And me,
Wow.
like I said, me and him were sending stuff back and forth to each other, and Hit Boy was like, yo, I think you need to finish this one, man, because it's just like that's just how I feel in my heart. And I didn't I was like, I want to be sensitive and respectful, but everybody who was around me from Dom to, even his family members and friends, they was like, no, this one is like crazy. So I
Got
went
to.
I went in and finished it, and it was a very vulnerable song for me. It was something where I opened up a lot, and I didn't know how people was gonna take that, but I felt like, I decided to, at this point in my life, to sacrifice my privacy, to sacrifice um, my selfishness for selflessness, to give people maybe something to relate to, or for them to push through and be stronger too.
Definitely a great adult record.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Man, when he come on, it's like undeniable. Like you gotta like
Facts.
blast that motherfucker up. Like,
Fresh
That's a
air,
fact.
fresh air.
yeah.
That's a fact.
Hmm.
Hmm. All right,
so
so
with it's been about like 8 years and around the same time since you dropped Detroit, the original,
Yeah.
I'm number one. What made you self-titled as Detroit 2? What was the thought process or inspiration behind that?
Well, I have been going. It took a while because I have been going through a point in my life of like expansion and growth. I feel like, so I was like
Okay.
very, very depressed. I had a lot of anxiety on me, and I just was at a point where I felt stagnant. The music I was making, I was even hardly even able to make music. And I realized that I was just very burnt out, and I had to take time for myself, right? So that's what I did. I did therapy. I like spiritually connected myself even more, because I am somebody who I feel like I've been on my spiritual grind since I was at least 17, you know, been meditating and all of that. But I dug deeper into it and returned to like putting myself as my first priority, you know, because I was trying to take care of everybody else around me. And, you know, doing that, it helped me rediscover my passion again, because I feel like when you do anything for over 10 years or 15 years, you lose a little bit of the hunger and the same energy that you had when you started. So I feel like I was able to return to that same energy, the roots, and new and improved. So I was thinking differently. I was talking about things that I never really talked about before. And, you know, so that's why I called it Detroit too, because I felt like I was in a similar position when I made Detroit, of like purely being inspired, purely being hungry. And now I feel like I returned to that, but a new and improved version of myself. So
Yeah.
I feel like it was the time to do Detroit too, because I had been wanting to do it. It just, I never felt it all the way until now.
Well, I want to get into one of my favorite records that and my DJ team loves it, and we always talking about it. Wolves. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, for
Wolves,
sure.
Wolves is it's crazy.
Mhm.
Can you introduce that to the people?
Yeah, for sure, man. Look, let's get into it right now, man. Detroit 2 is out right now. This is a song, one of my favorite songs, Wolves, featuring my brother Post Malone, man. Turn this way up. Let's
We're gonna
go.
turn it up. Let's get it. I want to ask you: do you consider yourself a OG now in the rap game? You've been, you know, it's been over a decade,
Uh-huh.
far as putting out music, and you know, you seeing like the culture changing a lot now. And
Mm-hmm.
I also want to congratulate you, getting your own label.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know what I mean? That's dope, because I've always say that, you know, the geniuses always can find another genius. Was it a point in time that you see a person, an artist now that's famous, and you was like, man, I could have signed that artist, or he could have been he or she could have been down with my team.
Absolutely. You know, and it's people that I feel like I've helped out too, and they've expressed
Wow.
that they expressed their, you know, thanks. Even like Cash Doll, you know, she's like, man, I appreciate you helping me. You know, the songs that me and you done helped me, you know, in my career too. And Darius Love too has told me that as well, and like a lot of people. And I appreciate them obviously too. You know, it's amazing to make music with them. But yeah, that's something I'm excited about as the next chapter, is like giving people that same opportunity that Ye gave me.
Mm.
You know, I feel like it's that time, you know.
And also the Detroit artists, they're on the rise. Like I've always know, like it's like a certain state that gets their shot now, but it's like
Uh-huh.
Detroit would have, it's like 10 to 15 artists now that's getting crazy.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with it? I know you put a whole bunch of Detroit artists on, you know, the cipher, but are you proud of that Detroit's becoming, you know, really on the map right now?
Absolutely, bro. You know, like every time, like even when I was talking to T and Sada and like 4-2 and a lot of people, and they always tell me like, in one way or another, like, yo, you know, you helped make it real for us. You know what I'm saying? You really helped. You know, we saw it and was able to do it obviously they did it in their own way. But
Mm-hmm.
it's cool, you know, for them to show that respect and, you know, to pay homage to me, because it wasn't like that before. There was no superstars from my city that was black and rap music. You know, it
Mm-hmm.
just didn't exist really on a global level. So it's cool to see the city blowing up like it is now. And I feel like whenever I see success like 42 Doug or anybody, I almost feel like it's me, you know. So I'm happy for them all, or Sada, everybody.
That's what's up. So are you looking forward to working with any other artists such as the ones you just named in the near future?
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
before the awesome.
Yeah. That's one of my main goals, is to like collab, have fun, and just, you know, appreciate people's artistry and support. One of the things that has inspired me is the fact that how many people have been supporting my album and posting it, and people that I don't really talk to that much, you know. But it made me realize that this is a community, you know, it's not a competition. So it's like whenever I appreciate art, I want to get more vocal about it, because I know that artist is going to appreciate it, as opposed to me thinking like, oh, this is dope, let me just listen to it. But it's like, no, I got to be vocal, because we're at a point now where we have to speak up, and people may have put their heart and souls into this, and they deserve their flowers, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real. So
That's a
I
fact.
want to. There's a super dope interlude on the album, The Story of Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Powerful,
Crazy.
Can you just give us a little background to how that came together? Because I mean, between Dave, Erica, Stevie, like the people really want to know, man.
Yeah. So like I was hopping off a plane and I ran into Dave Chappelle. He was getting on a plane. This is like 5:30 in the morning. And I was like, you know, he's like one of my idols. So I'm walking up to him and he's like, yo, man. He's like, yo, I really fuck with your dad, man. I love your dad. I was like, what? And I remember my dad called me a few months before and was like, man, I was backstage with Dave Chappelle at his concert, man. He loves your music, son. He told me that he listens, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was with him, kicking it with him. And I'm like, because my dad can exaggerate some situations sometimes. So I'm thinking, like, he may have got backstage, said what up.
Uh-huh.
So I had to call my dad back and be like, Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you were, like, really with Dave Chappelle. Like,
That's fire.
yeah, and then, you know.
Like, Dad, you're cool.
Yeah, and I asked Dave, like, yo, can you explain the album I was doing, and you know, told him what I was trying to do. Like, bro, I'm trying to uplift people. I'm trying to uplift my city. He was like, bro, not only will I support it, like, I'll do anything you need me to do. Like, I'll perform a set on one of your shows if you need me to, you know. So I appreciate him being so
I
down,
really like that.
so genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to see an Erica Badu and Big Sean collabo. That would be.
That part.
Facts.
That would
Yeah,
be.
me too. Yeah. Nah, she's amazing. I'm a huge fan, obviously, and I knew she had some experiences in Detroit when she was working with Jay Dilla, you know, which was some of my favorite stuff she's done. So I just reached out to her, her team, and you know, they got it done for me, and just appreciate her for seeing the vision through and, you know, doing that for me. It was great. You know, she said Detroit where the Nubians grow. I was like, wow.
That's a fact. But
she know.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder, man. Now, how did you get Stevie Wonder to get on an interlude and talk about the album in Detroit?
Well, first of all, Stevie's the greatest of all time.
Yes.
You know, the greatest singer-songwriter. And I grew up in a household where we played Stevie Wonder all the time. And he hit me up randomly one morning. I met him one other time, and he called me and was like, hey, it's Stevie. I'm like,
yeah.
And he was right, and he was like, I want to help Detroit out because at the time Detroit was going tragically through the COVID, you know, badly. And he was like, what can we do? So we ended up doing some stuff behind the scenes with our foundations and charities and stuff. And he asked me what I was working on, and I told him I was working on an album called Detroit, you know, Detroit 2. And he said, oh, I got to hear it. Like, we got to do a studio session. And a lot of time went by, and we finally linked up. And it was like at the very end of my album. And he was like, I'm down to do the story, man. I'm down to do it. But can I hear the music though? Like, I was like, yeah, for sure. So I played him the music, him and his sons, and they were like loving it. And that was one of the most proudest moments for me because I'm such a huge fan of Stevie. And I remember he heard Guard Your Heart, and he was like clapped and like dapped me up. And like, it was just like good, man. And he was really feeling all the songs that I played him. And I basically played him the whole album. And you know, he was excited and was like, yo, we should make some music. You know,
oh man, that's crazy.
I was even thinking about pushing my album back and like really trying to get it done. But I was like, no, that's something I can't rush. So I got to take my time and make that happen right. If it does happen, you know, if he does bless me, I feel like I'm a peasant compared to him. You know what I'm saying?
Charlie, you got to
remember, he called you.
Yeah. True,
well, Charlie, you got a record that was one of your favorites of the Detroit album.
Yes, I like Body Language featuring Janae and Ty Dolla $ign. Like, that's my all-time. As soon as I popped in, I saw her name. I was like, let me click that right there.
Yeah, of course.
So I just want to get into that one real quick. So I want you to introduce that for us.
Yeah, for sure. I'll tell you a little story about it too before I introduce it. So Body Language, that sample is a Detroit classic It was like one of the first Detroit local records
Mm.
that was R&B that was like blowing up. Only in the city though. It was really weird. And that's like high school dances, like late night Quiet Storm radio type vibes, you know, for years though. Like that, it's just been in rotation for years. So I was like, man, I got to sample this because it has such an impact on me. So I had the beat since 2015. Like it was my idea since 2015.
Oh,
And
that's crazy.
I've written like 5 songs to this beat and I didn't like any of them. So I was in the studio with Ty Dolla $ign and I played him the beat and he was like, oh, this is it. And he came up with the hook so effortlessly. And I was like, damn, I've really been overthinking this. And as soon as he finished it, I was able to come up with my verses. And then I played it for Janae one night. And she was loving it. And, you know, I told her I wanted her to do it and she was down and she brought her, you know, her magic to it. And it just worked out fine, you know, so.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm thankful.
Get
So
into
look,
it.
man, off that Detroit 2, you already know, look, man, it's Sean Don. This is my new song, Body Language, featuring Janae Aiko and Ty Dolla $ign. Let's go.
I seen in one of your, I think it was a Twitter interview, and you kind of broke it down as the motto. You was like, what's going on now? It's time to realize that it's nothing promised. You know,
Right.
It's nothing. You can't say I'll do it later.
No,
And
you can't.
I feel like, you know what I mean? I'm going to get that posted on my wall because that's like a motto. Like, it's nothing promised the way things are going on.
Nothing, man. It was like, I tell you one thing, like, I'm so happy that I was able to get that song done with Nip because we had been talking about it. But when he died, when he tragically left us, you know, it taught me a lot. And I remember on New Year's, I spent a little bit of time. It was a lot of us, but I was talking with Kobe, and Kobe was like, "Man, you working on the album? Yo, I'll come through and hear it, you know." And it's just like right after that, you know, it was done. And these guys are legends, and I'm not trying to make it about me. I'm just opening up and sharing with you how real this is. You never know when people are gonna leave you, you know. So you have to like not only embrace people, but take advantage of your moments and like, don't put anything off. Just do it. You know, if you can do it, because now is the time. There may not be a future, you know. This has been the most unexpected year ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every day is something new.
Yeah.
So, yo, recently you said you got 10 more still left in you. So
Yeah.
what can we expect in the next 10 years from Sean, from Big Sean, man? Because I'm excited for 10 more years of music. Plus.
Yeah, just more music, you know. Hopefully, like I said, I'm trying to get an opportunity of giving an artist a platform and giving them a chance to me and my best friend who directs a lot of my videos, did like a lot of my big videos. He's like a genius, I feel like, on the writing tip. And we started a production company and we're working on TV shows and like,
wow,
you know, I can't let 50 Cent get all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Word, right?
That's a fact.
Yeah, we got some crazy creative ideas, and
yeah.
So for TV shows and film and stuff like that, and some exciting partners that we're working with too. I don't want to. I'm a little bit further along than I'm hinting towards. So, but you guys,
that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, we family, baby. We family.
Yeah. So the production company, music. I truthfully, I feel like my real purpose is to inspire though. So more than anything, I'm just gonna try and like do my part, because when I look back on my life and I want my kids and grandkids to be like, man, he really did it. You know, he really did all he could in the time when people needed it. So that's one of my big motivations as well.
Oh, that's love. Just to segue into the music, it was a record that I like. I love on the album. Lithuania, if I'm saying that right, man.
Lithuania.
Lithuania.
Told you.
Lithuania.
Yeah, I
Told you. I said it's Lithuania.
Exactly.
Yeah, facts.
Separated.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. But,
yeah, of course. Let's get into it, man. Look, this my man off that D2, that Detroit 2, man. This is Lithuania featuring my brother Travis Scott. Let's go.
Let's get it.